Hey guys, welcome to today's video and welcome on into my beauty stash. It has just been a week full of trying new indie makeup because today I have another new to me indie makeup brand, and that is Fantasy Cosmetica. They sent me their newly revealed Fighter palette in PR, and I couldn't be more excited than to try this new palette out and also try out this brand. Now, Fantasy Cosmetica is a US-based indie makeup brand. They're themed around kind of like video games, mythical type of theming, and of course, giving us all of those wonderful multi-chromes, duochromes, those special shadow formulas that we have come to love. I noticed that a lot of their palettes, and they also sell perfume, they're reasonably priced. I would put them in the same category as Sugar Drizzle, for example. Now, this new Fighter palette is going to feature 5 multi-chrome shadows and 4 mattes. I don't know for sure the price of this palette. I think it's going to be $38.99 because that's what the other palettes are retailing for. But if I can find out before this video goes up, I will have it in the description box. But I do know that this is launching on July 20th. As soon as I get a time, I will also add that to the description box. Now, Fantasy Cosmetica was kind enough to also give me an affiliate code for you guys to save money, for me to earn a little bit of money. So my code Steff will save you guys 10% off of your order, and thank you so much to all of you who support my channel by shopping through my codes and my links. I really appreciate it. I am so excited to be trying out Fantasy Cosmetica for the first time. Now, I also want to mention that they are dropping a new perfume, and the perfume is going to accompany the palette. I think you can either get them as a bundle or you can buy them separately. They asked me which size I want because it does come in 2 different sizes, 10 ml and 30 ml, so I chose the 10 ml size. This perfume contains notes of dark chocolate, almond, marshmallow, and floral right away as soon as you smell it. If you love dark chocolate like I do, you're gonna definitely want to check this perfume out because for me that is like the top note scent, dark chocolate. So let's get this video started. I'll be creating 2 looks with the new Fantasy Cosmetica Fighter palette, and then of course I will give you guys my final thoughts once we wrap up the 2 looks. If it is your first time here on my channel, let me just quickly say hello and welcome to all of you and invite you to become part of our makeup family. Do me a favor, click on that subscribe button, hit the bell next to it. That way you can be notified every time I do drop a new video. And if you are a fan of Fantasy Cosmetica, if you are a fan of indie makeup, be sure to give this video a thumbs up before you go. If you guys want to see how the 2 looks I'm going to create are going to turn out, keep on watching. Alright, now I've already primed my eyelids with the Bella Beaute Bar eyeshadow primer. If you ever want a code for Bella Beaute Bar, I do have an affiliate code. It is Steff10, I believe. I'll have it right here, and that will save you 10% off over there at Bella Beaute Bar. They're always dropping something new over there. But let's dive into this one. So this is going to be a neutral color story. Continuing on with the neutral palette trend, neutrals definitely made a comeback in 2023. I know that makes a lot of you happy. I know some of you maybe not so much. You guys know I love working with colorful shadows, but you know what? I don't mind a good neutral palette, especially one that has multi-chrome. So I'm definitely excited about this one. The shade that's popping out at me the most, the matte shade, is this one right here, Valor. So I think I'm going to start there, and I'll probably end up going down to the shade Warrior to deepen up the outer corner. I'm going to use one of the new Klarity Kosmetics brushes. This is the K224 brush. I also want to mention about Fantasy Cosmetica that they are cruelty-free, they're vegan, and I think they are out of Washington, if I'm not mistaken. That's where they ship their orders from. That perfume, I can still smell it. It smells really nice. It gives me all of the fall feels. I think it's because of that dark chocolate and almond. That's what I'm really smelling. Okay, I'm loving the shade. I think it's very pretty. It's a nice crease shade, just like transition shade. Now on the Klarity Kosmetics K220, I'm picking up the shade Warrior. And we'll focus that right out here. Wow, that's some good payoff there. So this is a very dark brown, cool toned matte, which could pretty much pass for a black. So I like that they included this shade. This could also be used just to place down all over the lid and then put any one of the multi-chromes on top of it. You'll get a really nice effect that way. Usually adding a dark base to a multi-chrome or a duochrome, that really takes it to another level, makes it look totally different than what it does just on its own, just over, you know, a bare lid. But you can kind of experiment with that on your own. Okay, so I think we got a nice blend there. I think I'm gonna go in with Might first and then Glory. We'll leave Glory for like the inner portion and Might will be on the outer portion. I'm gonna use my Morphe M124 and I'm gonna spray this one with some setting spray. Focus that out here. Same brush, I just flipped it over and resprayed. This is the shade Glory. That's really pretty. Wow. Neutral multi-chromes. Done right so far. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Marshall for the lower lash line. And I'm taking that on an It's Belle Cosmetics E3 brush. Now I think I'm going to go in with Blade and I'm going to add that to the inner corner. Same brush, I just sprayed it. Ooh, that's pretty. Blue and brown, one of my favorite color combinations. I am going to take care of finishing touches off camera. I think I'm going to add some lashes just because the mascara I have on is left over from the last video I filmed. It is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. But I'll add those finishing touches off camera and I'll be right back to show you the completed look number 1. So here's a completed look number 1. I only used one eyeliner, believe it or not, and it is this new one from Rare Beauty. It's one of their new like retractable eyeliners. This one is in the shade True Black. I used that to tightline the top lash line as well as in the lower waterline. I already told you mascara is L'Oreal Lash Paradise, and the lashes I'm using are half lashes, my new ones from Eylure Luxe Silk 4-pack. So love the way this turned out. This was a very easy to create look. I didn't get any fallout and all I have to do is spray the brush. Let's move over to the left eye and we'll start working on look number 2. So for this look, I want to go in first with Cavalier, which is the light gray. And then I think, well, it would make sense to go down to Warrior, even though I already have that on the outer corner. I guess we could try Marshall to see if that will deepen up the outer corner. We'll see. But let's start first with Cavalier. I'm taking Cavalier on a Klarity Kosmetics. This is the 1126 brush. Let me know what your favorite Fantasy Cosmetica palettes are. I am, again, new to this brand. I noticed them this year, actually. I mean, I'm sure they've been around longer than, you know, a year. They've probably been around for a couple years now, but they got onto my radar this year. So when they reached out to me, I was so excited because they were on my list. Like, I would have bought this palette just because I wanted to try the brand out if they hadn't offered to send it to me in PR. So I'm really excited to have this. So far, I think the palette is performing really well. I've officially used all the matte shades, and those shades seem to be pretty solid. I like this gray. Really pretty. I always like to see a gray in a palette. You know, we don't always get grays, and I think the 4 matte shades that they chose to include in this palette actually complement it really well. It's a really pretty, like, just year-round color story. Please don't reserve this like just for fall. I'm gonna change brushes. I'm gonna go in with the Klarity Kosmetics 220 and I'm picking up Marshall. Focus that out here. We're gonna be mixing a little bit of warm and cool together, which I don't mind doing at all. I think that's nice when you can mix them together. Just creates different looks, gives the look some added dimension and a different shift. I feel like the mattes are layering well with one another. very smooth, like very easy to work with. It's turning out to be a nice palette. Okay, now I'm going to use, these are the only two shades that I haven't used in the palette. We'll start first with Forever, and then we'll go in with Victory. I'm using a damp Morphe M124. Same brush, I just flipped it over and sprayed. This is the shade Victory. Adding a little bit more of Marshall, the dark brown matte. I think I'm going to continue with the gray. I'm going to go in with Cavalier for the lower lash line, and then I think I'll use Warrior, which is that deepest shade in the palette, the deepest matte shade. I'll use that to tightline the lower lash line. So I'm taking Cavalier on an Cosmetics E4 brush. They also make they also have a really nice eye brush set. I'll actually have I'll have both brush sets linked in the description box in case you want to check it out. And I do have codes so you can save a little bit of money. Actually, I don't know if codes work on the brush set with It's Belle. I think they only work when you buy it individually because I think she has it at a discount. I'm not entirely sure, but you can always try that. I'm waiting for new stuff from It's Belle too. I'm hoping they have a new release coming out. Now on an It's Belle E2, I'm going in with Warrior. Keeping that really close to the lower lash line. Now I think I'm just going to add Victory. The shade, that's what I have on the inner portion. I think I'm just going to bring that down to the inner corner lower lash line. Using the same It's Belle E2, I just sprayed it. And with that, I will pop off camera to do finishing touches, and I'll be right back with this completed look number 2. So here is the completed look number 2. Same everything. I just kept, there's something about black in the lower waterline. That used to be the only color I would wear in the lower waterline when I was growing up. But now, of course, I switch it up and do different colors. But for some reason, I was just drawn to do black for both looks in the lower waterline because I think it just makes this palette pop even more. I love the way this look turned out. Really easy palette to work with. Let me go ahead and wrap up today's video, and I'll share with you guys my final thoughts on this new Fighter palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. Okay guys, so after using all 9 shades in the new Fighter palette from Fantasy Cosmetica, you do get a mirror over here at the top. I think this is a winner. I think this definitely touches on the neutral eyeshadow palette trend that we are seeing in 2023. I know that's going to also take us into 2024. Neutrals are back, and they're doing them in a fun way with all of these beautiful multi-chrome shadows. I mean, look at these 2 looks I have on. They're neutral, but they're still fun. They still provide pops of color. And for those of us that love colorful makeup, we can still have fun and incorporate multi-chromes into what otherwise would be a, traditional neutral look. We can get that added bit of color dimension with these special shadows. And I love that Fantasy Cosmetica included 5 multi-chromes in this palette for beautiful matte shades, buttery smooth, easy to blend. They blend well with one another. That is the most important thing. And I think this is a great way to get you into the fall spirit. So if you guys are wanting to pick this palette up, you can of course use my affiliate code Steff. That'll take 10% off of your order. This palette does drop on July 20th along with the perfume. If I can find prices and everything, I will have all of that in the description box for your reference. Let me know your thoughts now, guys. Which look was your favorite? What do you think of Fantasy Cosmetica? Have you heard of them before? What is your favorite palette? What have you tried? Is Fighter gonna be in your future? Sound off down below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night wherever it is y'all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink that water. Cheers. And I'm going to see you all very soon. Bye.